Being represented by a talent agency can open doors for Seiyuu, especially early in their career. And throughout their career, being signed to a talent agency brings clout to both sides. Regardless if Seiyuu joined big talent agencies or smaller agencies launched by Seiyuu that were through with receiving a miserable pay for their work, truth is that there are more Seiyuu signed to talent agencies than freelance. And in this episode, let's talk about some of the biggest players in the industry. Let's kick off this episode of Seiyuu Lounge. Welcome to Seiyuu Lounge. I am your host Vanessa, and today's topic is a quick history of big Seiyuu talent agencies. This is a direct follow-up to the previous episode, which is to say episode 119. Now that you know more about what talent agencies are, what they do, and what they provide to your favorite Seiyuu, not to mention their importance, it is time to dive into some of the most interesting talent agencies in Japan. Please do note that this is not an exhaustive episode. Right now there are over 40 different talent agencies in Japan, fully focused on managing Seiyuu, something that would be impossible to cover in one episode without boring you as well as myself. With that being said, because there is an endless number of talent agencies in Japan, I'll just cover some of the biggest talent agencies that you may have heard about more than once, basically in this episode. In the next episode, I will cover a couple of smaller agencies led by Seiyuu that were sick and tired of receiving a very small cut of the money they made when signed to the big talent agencies. I will also mention some of their talents and any quirks or things that the agency may have that are worth mentioning. Let's talk about 7 big talent agencies. Himawari Gekiden. Established in 1952, Himawari Theatre Group is a Japanese theatrical company that specializes in junior actors and Seiyuu. Those that sign to Himawari Gekiden know that this talent agency prepares both live actors and voice actors. It is not common for this agency to sign talents that aren't young. So when you check the list of Seiyuu signed to the talent agency, you'll see the names of some Seiyuu already in their late 30s. Well, that's because they've been with Himawari Gekiden since they were children. This theater company houses young talents and helps them become live actors, personalities, or even Seiyuu. Because it houses many children, Seiyuu signed to this talent agency can't accept or even be cast in mature works such as BL or anything that isn't considered family-friendly. The Seiyuu from this talent agency are well versed in acting, voice acting, singing, and variety, being complete entertainers that were taught since they were children. Himawari Gekiden, however, doesn't have a school to teach acting or voice acting. Like most talent agencies, Himawari Gekiden is based in Shibuya. Some of its talents include Mamoru Miyano, Koki Uchiyama, Ryohei Kimura, Takuto Yoshinaga, and Yuto Uemura. Awani Production. Awani Production is the very first Seiyuu talent agency to appear in the panorama. Exclusively focused on voice acting, the talent agency founded in 1969 has over 200 Seiyuu talents under their management. Due to being the first exclusively Seiyuu-focused talent agency, Awani quickly got the monopoly of voice acting, especially for Toei's works. If there was an anime series that was being created by Toei, you can be sure half of its cast was from Awani. However, with the rise of 81 Produce and other talent agencies, Awani lost this monopoly, although it is still noticeable how Toei continues to prefer to have talents from Awani in the casts of their anime series and movies. Awani has some of the best narrators in the industry. It is really a powerhouse for narration and voice acting in games, with most of their seiyuu being beloved in both industries. Still, do not underestimate this talent agency, as dubbing, narration, reading plays, and radio work are all specialties of their talents. Awani also has one of the best seiyuu schools in Japan, which is to say, Awani Juku, and oftentimes launches their young talents in projects self-produced by Awani, all to focus on nurturing their future stars. This is a talent agency that loves and nurtures seiyuu in ways that very other few talent agencies do. If they have several young talents to launch in the voice acting industry, they make sure to create a project or have them join a project that will put the spotlight on them. When it comes to launching young talents, Awani is quite impressive, putting their talents in quality projects from the get-go. Some of its talents include Hikaru Midorikawa, Nobunaga Shimazaki, Kenji Nojima, Ryotaro Okyayu, Hiroshi Kamiya, and more. Mausu Promotion. Mausu Promotion, formerly known as Ezaki Productions until 2000, is a Japanese talent management agency founded in 1974. This is a talent agency that was originally created to provide high-quality voice acting for dubbing of foreign movies and TV series. Mausu Promotion has over 100 talents under its wings, with most of them having been students at its seiyuu school, Studio Mausu. This talent agency represents a number of prolific voice actors well-versed in dubbing, anime, and games voice work, as well as tokusatsu and reading plays. Some of its current talents include Shingaki Tarusuke, Atsushi Tamaru, Kengo Kawanishi, and Ryuichi Kijima. In the past, Daisuke Ono was signed to this talent agency. 81 Produce. If you talk about one of the biggest talent agencies when it comes to influence and value, you have to mention 81 Produce. The talent agency, founded in 1981, is located in Shibuya and is known as a powerhouse when it comes to finding and nurturing creative voice acting talents. This was the talent agency that stole the monopoly in the voice acting industry from Awani. Upon its launch, the talent agency quickly poached talents from other agencies, quickly creating a core of star seiyuu. After that, the talent agency started to spread its influence in the anime and narration industries, setting up its own sound production company, Half HP Studio. With a core of star seiyuu under their wings and now with a strong influence in the voice acting industry, 81 Produce continued to invest quite aggressively. It launched Sweaty SP, company in charge of CGI and event production, and launched its impressive seiyuu training schools, hailed as some of the best in Japan, which is to say, 81 Actors Studio in Tokyo and 81 Actors Studio in Osaka. Some of its seiyuu, namely Ryusei Nakao, founded their own theater companies under 81 Produce. Then came the close ties with NHK and part of its capital bought by Kadokawa, something that made them the powerhouse talent agency they currently are. When you look in anime, games and narration, there is always a 81 Produce talent, sometimes more than 2 per project. Just look at the cast of the Idolish 7 franchise or for the Hypnosis Mic franchise. Count how many talents are from 81 Produce. Yep, at least 4 per music project. 81 Produce manages almost 300 Seiyuu talents, with most of them excelling in other fields such as music, modeling, design, which can be graphic and fashion design, writing, and more. If you want good singers that are always extraordinarily good voice actors, you go to 81 Produce. 81 Produce is known for having some extreme policies for some of their talents. It is known in the agency that no male Seiyuu can appear shirtless, whether in an event, photo book, or whatever. Hairstyles are also relatively controlled by the agency, with some Seiyuu spending years asking to change their hairstyles until the company lets them do so. More than once, 81 Produce has had to deal with stalker fans that were waiting for Seiyuu at the recording studios or even following them home. Some of 81 Produce's talents include Ryusei Nakao, Miyake Kenta, Soma Saito, Yoshiki Nakajima, Kentito, Kotaro Nishiyama, Shunsuke Takeuchi, Wataru Komada, Shinichiro Kamyu, and Yuki Sakakihara. I'm Enterprise. I'm Enterprise is an entertainment agency that mainly represents Seiyuu in their varied activities. It was established in 1993 as a subsidiary of Arts Vision, but has since turned into a bigger agency in comparison. In comparison to many of the agencies mentioned up until now, I'm Enterprise is actually quite small, at the moment managing a bit over 50 Seiyuu. I'm Enterprise used to be a small agency dedicated to managing only the best talents from Arts Vision and VIMS. However, as time passed, each agency got to define their style and organization, and it was noticeable the popularity growth of the Seiyuu part of I'm Enterprise, with plenty of high-profile female and male Seiyuu joining their ranks. Those joining I'm Enterprise know that this talent agency excels in voice acting for anime work. However, the Seiyuu part of this talent agency are skilled as variety hosts and musicians, many of them having successful careers. Narration, although not as big among the talents in this agency, is still something that some of its talents do really well. Some of the Seiyuu that are currently represented by I'm Enterprise include Yoshitsugu Matsuoka, Yuma Uchida, Junji Majima, Tatsuhisa Suzuki, and Hiroshi Mono. Haikyo. A giant when it comes to narration, stage plays and dubbing, Haikyo was founded in 1960 and is one of the biggest talent agencies in Japan. Although this isn't an agency exclusively focused on representing Seiyuu, it has over 300 actors in its ranks, some of those high-profile Seiyuu and narrators. Actually, Haikyo is not even a talent agency. What? You say? Yes, Haikyo is a Seiyuu union that has a division focused on Seiyuu management. Still, joining Haikyo is a big thing for a Seiyuu, as it is a talent agency of sorts with insanely high standards for narration and dubbing. Like many of the big talent agencies, Haikyo has a Seiyuu school, Haikyo Voice Actors Studio. Seiyuu from Haikyo are not well known for fans of 2D music projects or anime, as they primarily focus on narration, train announcements, and dubbing. Some of its biggest talents include Junichi Suabe and Masatomo Nakazawa. Ken Production. Although not a big talent agency, Ken Production sure has the talent to make it a big talent agency. The talent agency was established in 1984 by the veteran Seiyuu Kenji Utsumi. For years, the Seiyuu simultaneously worked in voice acting and managed the talents signed to Ken Production. This changed later on as it was taking a toll in his health. Can Production is a medium-sized talent agency managing around 130 Seiyuu talents, some of those coming from their voice acting school Duo. Their talent agency takes great pride in its younger talents, quickly pairing them up in the same projects as some of their veterans. They also actively put their younger talents in exciting projects in order to bring in attention to them. When Seiyuu join Can Production, they know that they are going to excel in voice acting for anime series. That is the primary focus for this agency. But there are other areas in which their talents are active. Those include theater, reading plays, narration, variety, and radio hosting. Contrary to some big talent agencies, Can Production is quite liberal about how a Seiyuu wants to act, be, and even what they do to their image. It is okay to undress for photo books, have a personality that seems completely genuine, and work in whatever they want to. Some of Can Production's talents include Takuya Sato, Tsubasa Yonaga, Atsushi Abe, Katsuyuki Konishi, Taniyama Kisho, and Yu Hayashi. This was but a small taste of the biggest Seiyuu talent agencies in Japan. There are plenty more in charge of managing Seiyuu and their careers. As you may have noticed, there is a sort of dominance by Awani and 81 Produce. They have a lot of sway in the Seiyuu anime and music industries. They have contacts in all the right places to make their Seiyuu stars. But they also have bad things. Some are well known, while others we may never know. Now tell me, is your favorite Seiyuu signed to any of these Seiyuu talent agencies? And if he is, do you think they are managing him well? Let me know in the comments on YouTube, and remember, leave your comments as complex or as simple as they may be, and you can be featured on upcoming episodes of Seiyuu Lounge. Hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed this episode and don't want to miss the Hand That Feeds HQ's weekly male Seiyuu and music-related content. I'll return next week with another episode of Seiyuu Lounge. Thank you for listening and see you guys around.